Hey, what's up, y'all? This is episode 97 of the People's Podcast. We gonna talk about something that we really didn't dive completely deep into, a subject matter of positive energy, positive thoughts, mental health, maintaining mental health. Like, um, it's so easy nowadays to be negative and stuff like that, and it's hard finding like-minded people, as I discussed as a minute. 'Cause it's very far and few in between of us and stuff like that. So I just wanted y'all to elaborate how y'all feel about certain things and actually certain methods you use to keep your positive energy and also try to spread positive energy.
Um, for me, I just like to surround myself with the type of energy that I would like to become in my life, or like the outcomes of something. I like to be around people who've already experienced it so that they can help me and it doesn't seem um like I won't be able to do it. It doesn't seem impossible because a lot of times we want to get things done or we want to get a certain outcome, but the people or the resources that we have, they don't always add up or match. So we end up putting it off on on the back burner and just waiting.
And of
So,
course, and you don't
you
want to,
know,
you can't get advice from somebody who hasn't done anything like that. But it seems to come to find the people that actually haven't actually done something or have the most opinions about how to do something.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
agree.
yeah.
and that's the weirdest thing because it sounds good,
Hey,
easier said than done. That's the
I know
word.
y'all never heard the singer. His name is Black. He spell it with a six Lack. Most people call him Six, but his name is Black. He got a
Mhm.
song, man, and he was saying the exact same shit. A motherfucker trying to tell you a better way to do some shit that they ain't never done. How is that possible?
Yes. Yeah, that's absolutely true. We all know have people like that in our situations and stuff like that. If it depends on your setup, the way you move in your daily life. If you have a job that's fucking wicked, it's evil because you can't control what type of energy people have. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
Right.
outside of there, you find yourself more commonly staying to yourself, picking and choosing, and not dealing with so many people. The more people you have to deal with, the less people you don't have to deal with, the less people you don't have to deal with because you're not gonna deal with any extra stuff if you don't have to. And the older you get, the more so you have less zero or less tolerance for BS.
Well,
I think
I
that's the
find
goal
myself.
though.
Go ahead,
How's
Mike.
Sorry.
that?
I was gonna say, I think that's the goal, really, to get comfortable with just yourself, you
Yeah.
know, because at the end of the day, you're gonna have to be around people and spirits are everywhere. You're gonna have to learn how to block those things out so that you can get what you need, So I again, the ultimate goal is to get comfortable with just being who you are and dealing with your own shit for real.
What
Now,
I found is most people are low vibrating, low frequency people. So in order to
Yes.
guard yourself, guard your peace, you need to learn how to. Is you got to be in the world. You can't live in this world without nobody. Everybody got to live in the world with humans, and we all need each other to an extent. But in order for you to guard your peace of mind, your sanity, and for you to keep shining bright and vibrating bright, you do have to you have to learn how to be by yourself. You have to learn how to be happy with yourself. If not, then you're gonna keep running into issues. Like you got a lot of people, they you ever see that you hanging around with friends and one of your friends will start acting different because they're around a group of people?
oh yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's a lot of people that unsure of themselves, don't know themselves, and they low vibrating on a low frequency. Now you got a lot of people like I've been watching the last couple episodes that you'd have been in, sweetheart, and y'all have been talking about being woke and whatnot. You got people that's afraid to be woke.
Because it's
Hey,
easier. It's not that they're, I won't be judgmental and say that they don't want to be. I feel like it's easier to go the other way because it takes less work, you know, because being woke, it definitely takes work. Like we talked about in the last episode too. You got to do some things for yourself to make sure that your 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 frequency and you're on the right vibrations and all of that, and using your power the way that it's supposed to be used, you know? So I think that, again, it's just easier for you to say, oh yeah, I'm woke, but really not understand, if that makes sense.
Well, another
Yeah,
thing,
because
though,
it's trendy now.
That's why
definitely,
I want to say that they're woke, though, you know, because it is a trend and people are going with the wave.
How woke can you possibly be if you scared to speak your truth in front of people because you don't like the way that they might react back to it? You can't be too woke. If you, like I said earlier, you get around people and you get to acting different, being in who you really is, you learn yourself, lower your vibration to them because you don't want to be on the outside looking like an outcast. That's one thing about people that so-called woke. If they really woke, they more seen as the enemy or a threat to the world population than they is actually being a part of it. You don't have that hive mindset, you're gonna have issues.
I actually agree on that. And then the most brilliant minds are loners.
Yeah.
You know,
But I read this book called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, and I recommend everybody read it, man, because for real, you find yourself, and man, it's a great book because, you know, you find yourself worried about certain things that really shouldn't even matter. But it puts so many things in perspective to where you're like, man, I don't care about that anymore. I'm not even gonna worry about that no more. You know, it's the art of not giving a fuck, and it's like it's the best thing ever, because we shouldn't worry about what people think about us, but we do because everybody is we live in a judgmental world.
yeah, and then we also worry about it because we don't want to be treated different. That's a whole. Forget what you think. You know how somebody treats you is way different. It decides on a lot too.
Well, here go the thing about it is how people treat you don't necessarily always add up to what they really think about you too. Because you got people that can treat you like you precious gem or gold or something, but really think less of you. Don't like you or hate you. And you got people that treat you like shit, but actually in a fucked up way, love and care about you.
Yeah.
Well, like Khalid said, you might not like me, you might not do this, but you will respect me. I'll take that any day.
Yep. Yep.
You know, and then that's messed up too. The psychology of somebody actually doing that happens often. People care about you, the ones, and then you be like, this motherfucker ate my guts. Then next thing you know, it's a school shooting, and they walking up to you like, go. Like, okay, I'm out.
It's fucked up to say that because there's been so many school shootings
Well, you know,
as of recent.
I mention it because that's a real scenario.
Right.
You know,
yeah.
it'd be some days like, oh, I gave him some candy and he spared me. You know what I'm saying? Like something like that. People remember how you treat them, man.
Yeah, they do.
And you know, just because you don't say nothing don't make you stupid. It actually makes you smarter. You got more time.
Pick your battles. Pick your battles. Every battle is not worth fighting.
Right. And then when they finally pick their battle, it's a war. It's not a battle. And then it's too late. You know what I'm saying? But that's why it pays to treat people good, no matter if it's a trash man or a waiter or it don't even matter. Just treat everybody good.
But we need to get back to the basics though. Like these tools that we were given when we were younger, like respect your elders, keep your hands to yourself, trust, you know, the basic tools that we were taught when we were younger coming up. This generation, I don't feel like they have no tools in their toolbox. Like it
went from basic to detrimental.
Right.
It went
respect
to
your
common to not
elders.
so common. Yeah. I mean, but in the same sense, elders got to give respect too.
Yeah. Just think because you're an elder, everybody's supposed to respect you, but you ain't putting no respect back out there. That ain't how that works.
And you got to reciprocate, you know.
But some of us were
drink
taught
Modelo because I like them and they paying us for it. Psych.
It's just like your job though. You might not like your boss all the time, right? Hypothetically speaking.
Of course not.
You might not like your boss, but
especially if they make you do your job on top of that.
But you go to work, you do what you need to do, hopefully, and you get your paycheck, you know, and you were able to bring home a living.
It's a dope t-shirt.
So sometimes you just gotta, again, pick your battles. What's worth fighting and what's worth just letting go. So I believe that we really need to instill these tools back in our toolboxes for other people as well, because without it, man, we're gonna be fucked in a little while. We
Now,
already
we
are.
are
For real.
now. Yeah,
Well, yeah, we
seriously.
fucked now. Ain't no such thing as morals and values, all of that. Ain't no, we've talked about this multiple times, man. There is no such thing as a community. There is no village anymore. Thank you.
But
And that's, when you said we don't really, I mean, that we really need each other, and, you have to have some type of some human support, right? That is true, because at the end of the day, we're all connected. We are all connected in some type of way, some type of form,
I've seen it
and
firsthand. Yes, we are. In the weirdest ways,
without,
too.
right, and without us actually acknowledging that and coming together, man, we're just going to be continuously ripped into pieces as humans, and especially our culture. We're going to have to get on one accord, one page, one goal, one plan. We got to come up with a plan first.
It ain't,
But without,
it really ain't meant for everybody to be together like that, though. Because if it was, it would have already been that way.
well,
That's
I
tough
don't,
one.
I
That's
don't,
a tough one.
I mean, well, for me, how I feel like, I feel like it was a systematic plan, man. This stuff was designed to go this way. They knew that if they broke up the homes back in the day, the families would be broken up. They spread us off everywhere, here and there. Virginia, Williamsburg is where I'm at right now. It's where it first started, where they dropped the first slaves and stuff like that. Like all this was planned. So they knew that if they interrupted our homes back then, that if somewhere down the line, especially with the Jim Crow laws and things like that, that the houses would be broken up, especially in our culture.
I mean, well, you probably, I'm assuming you done read them Willie Lynch letters before, huh?
Not all of them. And a brief.
You read enough
Briefly?
to know where I'm coming from, though, right?
Well,
Right.
No, he say the same thing though. That's why I'm like, I'm grinning in my head, like, yeah, okay. But yeah, he says that he knows that it's certain examples too, like Section 8. You're not supposed to have a man in the house with you when they do their inspections and stuff like that.
Food
Well, a
stamps.
lot of
Food
it,
stamp. Hey, right there.
Hey man,
Healthcare.
don't y'all dare talk about my food stamps now. I've been living off that all my life.
Well, no, we talking about like a female getting them. If they won't give them to them if a male is in the house with them.
Yeah, and the male got to be put on child support in order for her to get them.
Yeah, that's what we saying. Yeah.
And I mean, even down to that new child support thing, right? They were taking away the man's license if you were behind on your child support. Now, how fucked up is that?
Well, you
Because
can't
without a
make money.
license,
He can't even get to work.
right,
Make
he
money.
can't even get to work. You know what I'm saying? So like that right there was the whole plan,
Yeah,
So
yeah. Like you said, it's been
when
planned.
I'm
It's been
saying,
planned
like,
before they even came over here. They knew what they was. They had a plan. They had a goal in mind, and it looks like they've done pretty damn good at accomplishing it too.
man, listen, they are so much more advanced than what we are. You know what I'm saying? Like, but just think about a organization, right? Just think about
Right.
this thing as an organization. They are already planning, like, for the future.
They
You
got
know what
our
I'm
life
saying? And
mapped out for us
predicting the outcome.
decades ahead.
Yeah, but
Exactly,
it's a
man.
lot of people breaking the cycles though, whether it's
It
education or financial status or all levels of education. They breaking the cycles and they breaking them younger and younger too.
The chosen people are waking up.
We
So
just need more leaders. We need more leaders to be good and to spread that good to our youth, because our youth really not listening to nobody unless you got on some J's, a gun on your hip, a Gucci belt, some golds in your mouth, a big chain around your neck. Like, that's what the look is that America is putting out there on television for our children. So it's up to us and the other leaders around here to actually stand up and say, nah, all that shit is materialistic for real. You're not taking that with y'all when y'all go.
Well, you know why we
Y'all
really
need
don't
to
have
start
leaders,
investing
right?
in these books. Huh?
I said, you know why we really don't have leaders, right?
Because they kill them off once they start speaking.
Exactly. As soon as they start speaking and getting some momentum, because that's power. That's a lot of power. If I can
But
sit
see,
here
that's
and say
why,
something that captivate the minds of the youth, I ain't even talking about everybody, just the youth, because the youth really is our soldiers, them our warriors. If I can say something to captivate them and get them listening to me and doing what I say, that's power right there. You want somebody having that type of power when they gonna buck against the establishment.
That's a good point. But you know what though? I can pretty much say that like our children, specifically on this panel, different type of breed than the average man will run into.
But you got to think though, the people on this panel look at all of what we putting into our children. I was just listening to Hassan Campbell today, and I don't really like name dropping, but he was talking about that shit. Like, if you're a mother that's on Section 8, you ain't got no job, and your child is failing school, shame on you. Same thing for a father. You got all these
no,
free time to be with your child, and you ain't teaching your child nothing, and your child is failing in school. That's horrible. What does that say about you as a parent?
Yeah, I mean, I get that part too. But you know, I mean, stuff happens, but you have a better chance. It's about using your opportunities and it's also using your resources.
But a lot of us don't really have opportunities or resources. You know, a person to sit there and be like, well, you got this free education and this, that. The school system is failing our children miserably. I mean, back in the day, it might have been a time where we could have talked about the United States was so great, this, that, and the third, and the schools, and man, come on, these kids don't know nothing. Bush came in there with that No Child Left Behind. So your son is motherfucking 15. He done made it all the way to whatever grade a 15-year-old is supposed to be in, and he can't read and write. The fuck sense did that make? His dumb ass need to be held back until he learned how to read and write.
They gave him a graduation hat. He was in one class all day.
That's like them participation trophies for them kids that play sports. They was there, but they never even got on the field. But you giving them a trophy for what? What the fuck did they do?
Whoa now. I told you my football story. It was my dream.
Hey, man, when you must have played that poke high.
Man. Okay, yep. But yeah, man.
Our buddy was out there throwing them flea flickers to you.
Yeah, them flea flickers, the Hail Marys. I was catching them. But yeah, man. I mean, but that's true though. Like, No Child Left Behind. What type of stuff is that? And it didn't mean working harder for that child. It meant pushing them along.
That's what's helping to breed low level, low thinking, low vibration, low energy people.
It's not their fault.
They ain't even teaching the kids the basic skills to really even think for themselves, to be critical thinkers.
Yeah, and that's part of it. Well, I don't know. I'm up in the air on that. Is that parenting or education or both?
Man, it's both parenting and education. The education started at home.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Critical thinking. Nobody can point a finger at one. You know what I'm saying?
You got to point a finger at the parents first, because children learn from their parents first and foremost before they learn at school.
And then vice versa. I mean, it goes both ways then, right?
Yeah.
You could point a finger at what they not learning at school too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
from the critical thinking aspect, though, is what I'm asking.
Yeah, of course. We definitely, I mean, I've already pointed the finger at the education system. But the problem with that is we don't have no control over that. Me personally, I believe, especially with everything that's going on nowadays, our children should be at home teaching. Now, I'm not a married man and I don't make a lot of money, but I make enough to be able to support myself and the family. And if my wife was pregnant, I want my child to be at home with my wife. I want my wife to be at home with my child, because who's going to take better care of my child than my wife? Nowadays, you got to be concerned about where you sending your kids, especially when they can't talk and walk.
Oh, that's a given though. They don't go nowhere. There's no questions asked about that. They don't.
But
it's just how it is.
We living in a society today where most people can't really afford to do things like that.
Well, you think about it. You can't afford to do things like that. You can't afford to do things that cause that child to be here.
Well, that's Roe versus Wade right there. And I mean, I hate to get into that conversation.
Before it gets to that point, though, I agree with you. But
what do poor people like to do? They like to fuck, man. You know what I'm saying?
And what does it end up costing? Money.
A lot.
Costs a lot. It costs time. It costs a lot. Which, I mean, we all human. Absolutely, but
Yeah, I mean, we supposed to procreate. You know what I mean? Like that's a blessing from the Most High, right there, is to be able to have a child.
absolutely.
Now, like as being a man, you know what I mean? Of course, we have daughters and we love our daughters, but a man's biggest blessing is besides his wife would usually be his son. You know what I mean? Because your son carry your name, that's a part of your legacy. Your daughter, that's a part of you, that's a part of your legacy too. But when she grow up to get married, that name is gonna change.
Yeah.
And she gonna carry her husband's name, and her children is gonna carry her husband's name. You see what I'm saying?
Not if you're in my family. It's a ton of us. Nobody gonna change that stuff.
I would be, that's hurtful. Now I got 2 sons. Don't neither one of my sons carry my last name. As a man, that hurt my pride. And that's decisions that these women choose to make. And really, I felt like just to shame me. You know what I'm saying?
No, wait. I just got back real quick too. But remember what we were talking about earlier about how it was planned for it to be that way. Like you only know better until you know better. Because really, I bet you if you would have sat down, women who gave their child their last name instead of their father's last name, I bet you, I mean, like you sat them down and explained to them like what it was, I bet you they would have changed their mind about doing that. You know what I'm saying? Again, it was a part of the plan. Our job is to go against that plan. Like you just said, the educational system, what can we do about it? We actually can do something about it.
We can start teaching our children ourselves.
I do teach my children myself. I've been homeschooling.
Yeah, see, there you go. You already breaking the cycle.
But the thing about the public schools though, right? You can change those things. There's just things that you have to do, but you have to do the mass numbers. It's not going to be enough for just you or little old me to go down there and say, hey, I don't agree with this and this needs to change. It's going to take a group of people to go to the city council meetings. You got to vote and elect those people. You got to really understand what those people are trying to do and what they're standing for, because those are the people who makes the decisions in the schools. Stuff like that, you know?
That's the same thing with voting. It started at a lower level and then work your way up to the top.
Yeah, before you voting for the president, you voting for judges, city councilmen, and everything else.
Mayors and yeah. But see, here goes my whole issue with all of that.
You have the PTA meetings, but we can't even get people to focus on, you know, what life is really all about. You know what I'm saying? It's all about the clubs, the fashion show, you know, for a specific group of people. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's just sad sometimes when I think about it, because when you're on Facebook, you hear about all the graduations and stuff like that, but you don't hear about everyday educational things. It's graduation season right now, so that's why we see it so much. But, you know, throughout the year, you probably don't hear about all of the middle pieces of the educational goal, right? But I bet you every day or every weekend you heard about a dang on ball, a dang on new fit, a dang on, you know what I'm saying? Like some type of shit that really don't even matter.
Yeah.
For real, instead of being in the club on Friday, you should have your ass at the PTA meetings and stuff like that to make sure that your child is getting the education that they need to get. You know what I'm saying? It goes back to priorities. We got I ain't gonna say we, but some of us got our priorities fucked up. And that leaves our children in a bad place.
All of us, we all need to go fucking, and that's.
Yeah, we all, everybody got room for improvement.
Yeah, absolutely.
But education is key.
I really want to separate from this as a whole. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really believe that there's any room for us to grow in this country in any way, shape, form, or fashion.
Well, you see people doing it. That's how I keep the faith. Like she said before, when we were talking earlier, having a mentor that actually doing things that you want to do, and that's the best person to go to. Somebody that's actually doing what you're trying to do.
Right.
It's possible. It's just getting aligned and being like-mindedness about how to go about certain things.
Individually, go ahead. My fault.
No, go ahead. You good?
Okay, individually, anybody can level up. Our people as a nation leveling up, it's not gonna happen. You can't build no kingdom in another man's kingdom. They've showed us plenty of times. You got to look at Rosewood. You got to look at Tulsa, Oklahoma.
That's
And
also
those
a
is
threat,
just two.
though.
You know how many? Is what threat is it that people want to uplift their people and make them, put them in a better position to be productive members of society? How is that a threat?
Okay, it's a threat.
They're
Consider
powerful.
what the definition of white power and the definition of black power.
We ain't even, well, yeah, I see what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying? It's the black power is more positive and uplifting.
It
White
shouldn't
power
even be
stands
no
for
black
something.
power, white power.
It shouldn't.
It shouldn't.
shouldn't.
It's there though.
That's,
We
yeah,
talking about
who
that
made
rub.
them rules? Who made them rules, and who put all of this into play? Who started this game?
The person
Again,
that made the game.
Exactly. So now you can't be mad when people say, well, hey, we want our own banks, we want our own school systems, we want our own doctors and lawyers, and we want to be able to govern ourselves the way we see fit. But you know why though? I mean, at the end of the
you can't
day,
govern your own. You can. I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry.
go ahead.
You can govern yourself. Like there are certain things that you can do to be able to govern yourself. You can go have your own city. Like you can go have your own what do they call them? Union. You know what I'm saying? You can go and do these things, right? But still, you have to have people. It's like I think 900, I can't remember the exact numbers, but it wasn't very high at all to make your own county. You know what I'm saying? But again, without the knowledge of being able to do these things, without the expanding of our children's minds and their imaginations and even our own, you know, we would never even think we would never even think to do these things. Just like they go around and get us to sign a paper to say they want to do this, they want to do that. Do we agree? And we sign it saying yes or no. We can do the same damn thing and ask people, hey, do you like this place where you live? Yes or no? They say no, you could tell them like, we want to do our own thing. And if you get a certain number of people, I want to say it's like under 1,000 people. You can go ahead and go and do your own thing and,
But
you know,
see,
live life.
I'm sorry, we lack the knowledge of that. Like if you want to do something like that, nobody knows where to start with that. Great idea, but dang, you're sitting there twiddling your thumbs like, how do I start that?
But that's why they say no question is a dumb question.
Only dumb question is the one unasked.
Exactly. So if it's on your mind, if it's on your heart, and I spoke about that last time. If it's on your heart, that is what your life's purpose is, your desire. Like that's what's set in stone. You know what I'm saying? They say God got a purpose for you. That little thing in there that's itching you to do this and telling you not to do that, that is your inner being. You know what I'm saying? Speaking to you, your conscious, telling you, okay, this is the line to what you are supposed to be doing. And then when you get that feeling like, okay, nah, I don't really like that. That's when you're getting that feeling like, okay, nah. I mean, your inner being is saying, nah, that ain't for you. Stay away from that. You know how you get that feeling about fake and phonies.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Gut feeling.
You can see that a mile away, though. I mean, you can definitely see it. Like,
but you know,
like
I think we.
devil always busy.
Right.
Another thing I want to mention was like speaking to people that's doing negative behavior. Before things happen, each one teach one, and that goes from the child to the adult. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, and some people, like me, myself personally, I feel like if it's not in my avenue and it's foolishness, I don't partake in. But some things are detrimental and need to be said. If enough people say the same thing, the strength in numbers. If one person say something, oh, they're a hater or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Right.
what's your approach, Ashley, on how you talk to people in certain ways?
I mean, I like to use myself as an example anyway, because I mean, I haven't been this way all my life. You know what I'm saying? I've definitely had obstacles. I've definitely had lessons to learn, you know, so I always take an easy approach. I'm just a very, very easy person to talk to anyway. So if I see something that shouldn't be done or shouldn't be being said, you know, I'll try to speak on it like in a way that they'll understand, like understand that I understand why they might feel that way, or you know, but then also break it down to be like, you know, I used to be like that, but using myself and as an example again,
Right.
but always bringing it back to the positive of why you shouldn't.
And that's
You know.
another thing too. I want to say, if I'm there in the moment, I feel like I have a duty. You know, I have an
She
obligation.
breaking up on my end.
Can you, can you hear me?
I can't hear you. I can't hear her. Her screen froze on my screen though.
Okay. Well, right now on this one, she good though for the recording. But the thing is though, like I mean, I feel like I have a obligation if I'm there in the moment to speak some you know some sense into certain situations. Now, if I sit there and let stuff happen, then I will totally feel like I'm at fault.
Yeah.
You know, so in that moment, I feel like I'm obligated. Hey, look, you know, that's not the right way to go about it. And I also add an alternative. I'm not just gonna tell you not to do nothing and don't tell you to do anything else. You know, because in hindsight, when we all messed up and somebody told us don't do it, we want to know why. Because at one
Yeah.
point,
Well,
you know
listen,
what? Go ahead.
there's an old saying that goes like this: a fool don't learn from nobody's mistakes, not even his own. A smart man will learn from his mistakes. A wise man will learn from others' mistakes. I'd have been a fool. Now I'm a smart man. I'm trying to be wise. You feel me?
Yeah,
Yep.
and with that being said, I swear that's the gospel. But what do you say to an old fool?
So what?
Old fool. Somebody way too old to be partaking or acting or doing certain things.
Well, at that point, what they say, you can't teach a new, old dog new tricks.
Understood. Can't teach them survival either.
Nah.
That should be an
Yeah,
instinct, though. We talked about that too.
the other thing too that I wanted to say, if we all were to come together and like did this whole village approach to our children, like in correcting and even with each other as well, it'd be so great. But we first gotta let go of this. You're not gonna talk to my kids this way, or fix ourselves first, you know, because that is where I see a lot of things going wrong too. Others trying to help, but then people getting offended, people, you know, ready to fight because I mean I've seen some crazy situations,
Go on,
and if we could just
go on.
communicate
Get sorry.
and you know what I'm saying, and get a kind of an understanding of where we want our children to go, then we probably could get a little bit of leeway.
No, probably, no,
Leeway as
probably,
in what?
absolutely, we could.
Yeah.
And then
Leeway,
we got
leeway
a
as in
whole,
what?
as in getting things done, get stuff accomplished. Everybody having an understanding. People not out here just wild and running stuff. Like it's an understanding of morals and values. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it shouldn't be a no man's land where it don't exist anymore.
Right.
When you say it don't exist, and you teaching your kids that, you know what I'm saying? It's a reason why you teach your kids that. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So you doing it.
Yeah.
You're doing it for them to be prosperous. That's the reason why you're doing it. And on top of that, that's the way we were taught.
Right.
Yeah. But you I'm pretty sure y'all heard this. Our parents raised us to move in the world that don't exist no more. So the same way we raising our children to be now, by the time they come adults, that world that we raised them to handle themselves in ain't going to exist no more.
But you know what? It didn't exist then when we talked about it. We were just blind. They were just blind at that point in time. You got to keep going.
The 80s and the 70s and the 60s, even some of the 90s was a different time compared to what the hell it is now.
Well, you got to think about it. Social media is rampant now. You're going to see more shit, not just word of mouth. You're going to be aware of more certain things.
Because and one of the main things about the social media is the street shit used to be in the street. Now the street shit is on the internet.
Yeah, and it can go either way still. And that is very, very detrimental and harmful to our youth.
It is. I mean,
and I see you trying to segue into some shit. No trick, no good. Trick, no good.
No, I wasn't trying to segue into nothing. I'm just saying, you know, in actuality, like, look how many motherfuckers on Clubhouse, Big U, Whack 100, and all these motherfuckers, and all they doing is sitting around talking about a whole bunch of gang banging shit that they shouldn't be talking about because the feds is listening and watching, but yet they on there doing it.
Well, I mean, they could either be doing their job with, you know, helping keeping the ignorance going, or they could be trying to educate the people.
Well, you know, shit, they helping to keep the ignorance going. I be feeling like motherfuckers like that as agents. You know what I mean? They thrive off of that shit.
Yeah, but what about the good things they do off camera though too?
Who's doing good things? I seen Crip Mac hand out a couple of hot and readies and $5 hollers. That's about it. But what the fuck is them niggas doing? Let's be honest.
He told me I get my Western Wiggle on with the 5, like, you know what I'm saying?
Who taught you what?
The Western Wiggle. You ain't know about the Western Wiggle?
No, what the hell is that?
Oh, well, you gotta go back and do your research, brother.
Nah, here you go, man. I ain't got the time or the energy to be wasting.
And then once you go back and look at it, you probably gonna fight me next time you see me.
No, non-violent.
No, I'm just saying, when you see the Western Wiggle, you gonna under 5 me. You know what I'm saying? And that, you know, that's for those custers, so you know what I'm saying? But no, it's something to be learned from everybody.
Oh man.
And I tell people that. People
Just
might
make
see
sure
it.
you got me a nifty 50.
I guess you the nifty 50 or the 55th. We're gonna keep it 55th Street. I'll just put it like that. But no, I'm saying it's something you can learn from everybody. Anything I pay attention to, I learn something.
That's I mean, well, you know, I've always said even a fool can drop a jewel. Now, if you listening and you trying to learn something, of course you can learn from anybody. But once again, we talking about a fool, a smart man, and a wise man. Which one do you prefer to be?
Damn, you just gave me the intro to Machiavelli. Which side you on? East, west? Not about bitches or punks, about riders of bitches. Which side are you on? No, seriously though, like you pick and choose your battles and you pick and choose what you want to come up against. But the hardest stuff to come up against is the highest hurdles. And it's the stuff ironically, it's the stuff you really don't have an interest in doing. Stuff the stuff that you can put off into tomorrow, you will.
What's the sister's name that's on the show with us? I ain't catch her name.
Ashley. I'm sorry, Ashley. Bo, Ashley.
Okay,
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, sister. Okay, let me ask you a question. Since we talking about positive vibes and whatnot, what do you do to keep yourself positive?
Man, it's work. It's working because you gotta change your mind to just go the opposite way when something negative comes your way. Now, that's the overall goal, right? So to get your mind to do that, to train your mind to be positive, you gotta do positive stuff. You gotta be very conscious of the kind of music you're listening to, the kind of people you're around. Energy is something very serious. I don't think people understand that. You know, like you said, you can have a group of friends, and because however it is and why ever it is, somebody's acting funny or not acting themselves because people are here, you know. But spirits and energy is very, 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 very serious, and it's very necessary to be understood. So with that being said, I'm just conscious of who I hang out with, who I, find myself calling and venting to. I read a lot of self-care books, like listen to a lot of different podcasts. Abraham Hicks is a very, very, very good woman to listen to, and Esther Hicks. Um, it's just because what you put in is what you're gonna get out, right? So if you're putting in a lot of anger and a lot of comfort and not peace.
That's a prime perfect example. Like what you put in is what you gonna get out of it, ultimately.
Right.
I
Gotta
want to.
exercise too, and keep your blood flowing properly. And exercise don't mean going and running and going to the gym and none of that. You can take a walk every day, because being in nature is also the other thing that helps the universe.
And staying grounded as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Grounding. I mean, y'all know what I mean.
Yeah. Walking outside barefoot, not on the concrete, but on the actual earth.
Earth, yeah. And I came up that way. I rarely kept shoes on. If I wasn't in school, I didn't have on shoes.
Yeah.
It's actually been scientifically proven that either sitting under a tree or hugging a tree can help reduce stress and anger and things like that.
Yep.
But see, that's the biggest problem is most of us not really connected to nature, not how we should be.
Yeah, because we got all these fears that been instilled in us. It's all these, whatever. I don't even want to talk about that, but it's a lot of stuff that's been instilled in us to make us not want to. Like you talked about the other day, being afraid to go swimming. That's a lot of people are afraid to go swimming. A lot of people that don't mind, but it's a lot of people that are afraid just because they heard of somebody drowning before.
And then also get them. Also, I'm sorry, y'all. Oh my God.
Do good. There's a lot of people that heard about car accidents and dying, but they still get behind that wheel. So hey, you might as well get in there and doggy paddle.
But you got some people who heard about a car accident and never been behind the wheel too. You know what I'm saying? But we don't talk about. It's a lot of people. It's we don't talk about everything. You know what I'm saying? We just talk about the mass numbers, and that we're not a mass number, so that's why we're not a factor right now. Like
it can't be. I think all the people that we come into contact with will be a great following.
What you gonna do with it?
No, that's the same thing. Like that's why I said, like when you get in a position, where do we start? She just said, where we start. We can get 900 signatures to 1,000 signatures to do towards a certain objective.
Right.
Yep.
To have our own county, our own village.
Exactly. And it took 3 pale-skinned people to think about stuff like that without calling Jesse Jackson or nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like just little old us. But big old us at the same time.
A whole Indian out here, old pale face.
Pale face. Wampum.
Call me Pete.
You stupid. Look, but no, another thing I wanted to bring up too, like how I get my motivation and how I maintain and I carry certain things and I deal with certain things. And we talked about that when I called you earlier, Rick. I actually,
and I commend you for that.
Times like this, and then my time to myself, I value it. And it's times where I don't have no obligations, whether it's an hour, I prefer the longer the better when I don't have no obligation, but to sit there and think or not think.
That's meditation though.
Yeah. And I want to say it in that way because, some people might feel a certain way about that and everybody doesn't. So I just didn't want to you know what I'm saying?
I don't know why. I get it. But
that's exactly what it is. That's what I do. But it prepares me. Even if I have to go through scenarios of certain things, what could happen, what could possibly happen, and it happens, I handle it like a G.
Yeah.
Because it's already played out in my mind, and also my plan B, my plan Z. Everything under the sun is already worked out in my head.
Yeah. You gotta be
But
able to think ahead too, to
oh,
stay peaceful.
and well, what I do, I have to definitely do that. You know what I'm saying? Like I have to think ahead, and also it's okay to walk around with a piece of paper or something, take notes. That's okay. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not perfect. I might forget some stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like I take notes sometimes. So then, if I have a conversation that we had, well, this is what this is about. You signed it. We talked about it. What's your excuse? Accountability is a big thing too. You know what I'm saying?
That keeps coming up.
It does. It does. Because I mean, that's the main thing. That's basically what we're talking about right now at the same time. But we also need to step into like mental health though too. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like certain
mental
how to
health is very
deal
serious.
how to deal with certain things. Because
Yeah.
truthfully, we're in that age bracket. Well, I'm not going to date myself, but we're in that age bracket where it wasn't such thing as depression. Who do you talk to? Talk to your pastor. Your pastor is not certified as a psychiatrist. You know, if you can't pray,
Man,
you can't pray things away. You can pray for understanding, and that's how I feel about it.
I feel like if your pastor is under a 501c3, you shouldn't be asking that man shit
Yeah.
or that woman
That's
shit.
that's another thing though. All that stuff was just set up. It was just set up to control us. That's it. So they know what we're gonna be doing at certain periods in a year, which is what they made up as well. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
again, find yourself because that's where you're gonna get the most peace at. If you don't know yourself, you're not gonna even know what higher power to go to and ask because you never spend no time with yourself to even get to know you and understand who your God really is, who your creator really is.
And then that's another thing I do too. Like I have certain things like in whoever, I'm not going to indulge in that, but I have never been let down.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
when I roll like that, I can't be defeated. Only thing that
And
gets
my
in the
God
way of
told me,
things. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
nope, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
And my God told me that I can put my worries on him. I don't have to worry or stress or fear because he already took care of me. He's already, you know what I'm saying, got it planned out for me and everything like that. Now, I also know that I have to take the first step with asking, you know what I'm saying, and putting it out there. So there's work to it. But however, I would have never known that this is how me and my God's relationship would be functional if I did not get to know myself first.
Yeah. But it say something like, place your burdens on me because my yoke is light, huh?
I mean, not really like that either, you know?
It's more so finding what works for you
Right.
and living day to day without having to fucking want to kill nobody, shoot nobody, or something like that, or without just getting a headache, a stress headache. And some people look at
I
me.
feel like I got that going on right now.
You just got twisted up, didn't you?
Nah.
Oh well, shit. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that's stressed in. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I
you just
man.
gotta.
I was feeling good until I got off work.
You used to go into bed at by this time. You'd be in bed at this time though.
Yeah.
So that might have something to do with it.
Um,
But
might have something to do with your blood pressure too. Not trying to, put that on you. But
I,
when you have headache,
well, I mean, I'm a high yellow back, but
I mean,
that
sometimes it
carries
could
on
be
in the
like
community.
too much salt though. Like you could have ate some French fries or something, and it had too much salt on it. It gives you a quick headache because your blood pressure is a little elevated at that moment. You know what I'm saying? It'll go
I was
down.
at a captain.
and then
I
your
was at a
water
Captain D's.
consumption. Captain
That
D.
ain't something I drink plenty of water. D's ain't something that's big in Michigan. So where I was at while I was at work, I was like, oh, let me pull over and get some fish, right? Everything I had was fried, except for the green beans. Fried fish, fried jalapeno poppers, fried okra. So I don't know. But I mean, I don't really
I
eat.
do that twice a month though. Twice a month.
I tell you,
Everything
it
else
wasn't
is.
until
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
it really wasn't until I jumped out the shower and man, that's why I had to take that cap off. I felt like I don't know if it's the earbuds or what. I'm like, is the 5G fucking with me?
Right.
Sabina,
Yeah, that's a long
The
story too. That's a
possibility.
long story. I'm gonna tell you about that too. Actually, that 5G ain't no motherfucker. Like that done made an ultimate show. Like that 5G sending COVID and every fucking thing. And then the saying was, if you're gonna be ignorant, be ignorant. Man, you missed some good times though, but you here for more better times though too. And we like to laugh too. I'm sorry, like if you haven't
I love
noticed though,
that.
there's gonna be some shit getting talked.
yeah. And that's what we do. We connected on that time. I was like, oh, she'd be perfect for this. She'd be perfect for this. You know what I'm saying?
I said. I watched all of the episodes she'd been on thus far, even the one that got taken down, and I kind of felt like it shouldn't have got taken down because it was a great
respect
episode.
respect though. You gotta. I mean, hey, and then I had to show her I'm trustworthy too. You know what I'm saying? Like if that's what she wanted, then I'll do it. Anybody else, they can go to hell.
Yeah, listen, he bullshitting on that one. That's the most solidest dude I know. Oh, some real shit, man. And I commend you. You a great dude. You a stand-up guy, man. And we need more men in this world like you, brother.
I appreciate that. You too. But like I said, man, I got a lot of work to do.
And it take a big man to recognize that and be able to speak on it, man.
Yeah. Because the first step to take to fix anything is recognizing that there's a problem.
Acknowledging that. And that's when people apologize and say what they need to fix. I was like, that's big. I don't tell them that, but in my head, I'm like, you know what? That's big. They know what they need to work on. And then I just tell them like Nike, just do it. How many times can you apologize? Like the second time you apologize, I don't give a fuck no more. You don't give a fuck. So like, let's just end this whole conversation and everything, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It do. And you know what's crazy is, because it do take a lot to for anybody to be the bigger person and apologize, man. And I had a spat with a brother and I apologized to him. And this is how I knew that he was less of a man than what he tried to make me out to be, or himself out to be, should I say, because he gonna say, don't apologize to me. If you want to apologize to anybody, apologize to God, because I don't care. That shows
if he spoke on that, he cared though.
Yeah,
you got to remember that. You got to remember that.
You wouldn't have had no need to speak on it. But the fact that you can't take an apology,
he want to spew something out there to make you feel a certain way. He cared.
Man, he
look, y'all, it's energy. It's
exactly.
energy. He's bouncing his energy on you to get a certain reaction.
And once he gets that reaction, he can go on with his negative ass day. He get a rise out of that shit.
This is supposed to be a spiritual brother that's out here trying to preach and teach people. You know what I mean?
No, it don't work that way. You got to be humble first and foremost before anything. Before you can do anything, you have to be humble.
And if you throw in your religion on, at somebody, like, you know what I'm saying? That's not being humble.
What turns people away from religion. Go ahead, talk to him, Ash.
Yeah, like, that's just crazy.
And then another thing, like, man, that hits it right on the nail. If you don't give a fuck, you don't talk about it. Period. You don't. You just don't. Now, we all care. We all care, but we all speak on what we care about too.
Yeah, but see, what I'm learning is now, even if I care on it, don't speak on it, don't give it my energy, because at the end of the day, I ain't doing them but feeding them what they want.
Now, you know what I'm saying? Now hold on to that for a couple of days, and if you really don't care about it, you ain't gonna speak on this shit. It'll leave you. It'll leave you if you really don't care about it. But if it has something to be said, then you care about it, and there's nothing wrong with that. Just address it. Though.
That's what I'm saying is, though, even though I know I care about it, I'm learning not to speak on it anyway, because at the end of the day, me speaking on it is not really changing anything. And then if I'm taking it, putting it out there to that person, they gonna feed off that energy, because like she just said,
it's the 48 laws of power too.
Yeah. So what be the point of that? But this is what's sad in today's society is you can't really turn to nobody. I mean, everybody got a few people they know generally care about them and gonna be there for them and listen to them. But a lot of the time, you can't turn to anybody with nothing. These same people that say they love you, you tell them X, Y, Z, and the third,
It'd
and
be
as
that
soon as
hour.
they get mad,
I promise you, it'd be the hour. It'd be that hour when you know people love you. It'd be that hour when nobody's there to contact you, nobody's there to console you. The people that you know love you, it'd be that hour would test your fucking strength. That hour that tests you when you know people give a fuck about you. But at the same time, you're not going to call somebody like speed dial, like, oh, this it's that hour when you maintaining and dealing with certain things. So you know that you have to deal with it during that time and process. Then when you know how we do, we'll link up and then like go through certain things like this happened, you know what I'm saying? Like and we talk about how to deal with certain things and stuff like that. That's a healthy fucking male relationship. We chastise each other and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You more so than me. You know what I'm saying? But it's all taken as good.
When it's needed, it's needed. Cause you know, it's been plenty of times I'll be like, man, that nigga hurt my feelings.
Yeah, but it was some shit that you know you shouldn't have done though. That's the back and forth though. That's the common sense shit though. Like, man, why the fuck you do some shit like that? You be like, I know. No, motherfucker, you don't know. You did the shit.
That was a tough lesson. And either you choose to learn it or you choose to continue doing whatever it was, but you know, you're never gonna get progress. So sometimes they say, you know, truth hurts.
and it does.
That's
it does.
The growth,
it
man.
Does. It does.
It's the growth.
It does. And like that's the type of relationship we have though. And that's how we maintain longevity in a friendship. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I can't look at nobody else like I look at him. And you likewise. I can't look at anybody else like I look at you. And y'all both clearly could understand why, though. You know what I'm saying? Right. So, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I mean, every day ain't gonna be good, but we have the same mutual respect for each other regardless, though. You know what I'm saying? And that goes with very few more people, but it's a few more people, though, you know, that actually that's on that level like that. And another thing, though, I know I'm going over my time, so I'm trying to hurry up and squeeze stuff in. I appreciate you, whatever spirit came over you that night. I appreciate you sticking with me, and because that's something we needed on this show.
Absolutely. Again, it's a pleasure to be here. I'm thrilled to be here. I think next Tuesday though, when we record, I feel like we should start off encouraging something and saying something encouraging in the beginning, just to set the mood a little smoother. Because I don't want people to feel like I'm just like, oh, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. You know, however, I do
want what people feel and think.
I agree. Well, you want to know why I agree?
I mean, I agree with what she's saying. Is for starting off on some positive notes. That's great, but stop worrying about what people feel and think.
No. Listen
people
to me.
Feeling and thinking some fucked up way, they probably need to hear what you had to say anyway.
Listen to me. I agree because of the topic that may be discussed. We will have to start on something positive. We'll have a lot more information about what went on and what happened, and we'll be a.
I don't need no information with none of that. All I already know.
Man, come on.
I've been saying it for years.
And you know what? Thank you. You said it. You called it. But thank you for actually respecting my wish, though. You know, I mean, I appreciate that. You know,
I was gonna say, and I before we cut this thing off, because I don't know how long you got left, but I was gonna say, man,
right, the wheels fall off. Go ahead.
Hey, we need to start paying attention to the folks that we be talking to, the ones that ain't never got nothing good to say when we get them some good news. You know what I'm saying? But they be gun-ho when you want to talk about some negative shit. Because them low vibrating people, you don't need in your life.
Right.
You ain't there to congratulate me when I'm trying to tell you something good. It's just, I just won $1 million. The fuck mean?
That little $1 million. Oh, you don't got.
Yeah. But as soon as man, me and my girl just got into it, she put me out. Oh, word. You know what I'm saying? That shit foul. It's fucked up.
Right. And then that's another thing. We should work on the compound. Just throwing it out there. Just throwing it out there.
Well, you know I've been saying that for years.
Get the information for real.
I've been saying that shit for years, man.
But I mean, just throwing it out there. But also though, Ashley, you're a great addition to the group, the team. Great addition.
Thank you.
And
A breath of fresh air, seriously.
yeah, for real. Like I can actually, like I had to be visual before everything. Like this wasn't right, this and that. Now I can actually put my headphones on and just close my eyes and just absorb everything.
Yeah.
That's
You know
what's
what I'm
up. That's what's up. I'm glad to be a part of it.
And then it's gonna spark interest for people to actually view though too. Just so you know. No, because I mean it's gonna be it's gonna show up as a view anyway. Just like who was that? Was that?
We're gonna have to do a light skin versus dark skin, right?
Man. Hey, look, I'm not with that type of stuff, but we gonna win.
Hey, you already know I ain't, man. I hate hate that shit, but it was a good joke to throw out there.
Yeah, and then that has history too, because we went back and forth on the light skin stuff. You even posted that one shit. You tagged me in that shit that the weekend, and who was that?
Drake. Yeah.
That was messed up. That was real messed up.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, man, it's been real. I'm gonna go ahead and I don't want to stop, but I got to.
I just want to encourage people to continue to learn yourself. Learn yourself is loving yourself. Loving yourself is success. Straight up, for real. Like dive deep into who you are and compound on that. Because by doing that, we can come together, at least the like-minded ones, and make some things change and make some things happen.
And also, I want to add to that, like mental health is key, and it's not your fault. Whoever listening, it's not your fault.
Right.
Hold up, man.
Stop.
Hold up now.
Stop. Look. You always come here with this fuckery.
All right. We need folks to be out here taking accountability for their own actions.
Look. You see,
Yeah.
you see?
That part. He said it right though.
Hey, Rick, it's not your fault. It's not your fault.
If I did it, it is.
Look, I'm giving you an avenue to get away. It's not your fault.
Man, hey, that's the problem right now is people don't want to take responsibility for their actions. If you do something to me, if you do something to piss me off, that don't mean I got to turn around and do something to piss you off. Or do something
when I mean it's not your fault, it's every action has a reaction. You gotta remember, if somebody did something foul to you, not your fucking fault. You could have been an infant. You could have been a child.
Yeah, I get what you're saying on certain shit.
Yeah. And then it carries over into your adulthood. That's what I'm saying. Like, and I'm speaking towards people that's actually watching too. Ain't your fucking fault. You become the better person. You become a great man, a great woman. You know what I'm saying? Rick, stop the bullshit.
I ain't said nothing.
I know. I just saw your face. But you can become a great person though. Like, and
now, I get what you saying. Now that you elaborating on it, I agree with you. But at the same time, people also have to have accountability. Shit that go on to you that you have no control over in your life, that happens to you that you didn't bring on yourself, you have no control over. It's not your fault. But the things that you do, how you react, the actions and consequences that you've made for yourself is your fault. So we got to separate them too. You feel what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You know what? I want to say at some point as a person, you got to cut. I mean, I get things have happened, right? I have to pass all of that. I'm hurry up. But at some point, you have to take accountability for your own human and say, all right, something hasn't been right. Something's not right. I need to go get some help, get it fixed and move on with your life because that woe is me shit is played. It's played. You got to, at some point in your life, take responsibility and be an adult and take control of your life. We can't continue. That's the other thing we can't continue. We can't continue to say, oh, well, this is why this is because my mom or because my grandmom or because her great grandmom, because they like them people is gone.
I ain't had no daddy in my life, so I refuse to be a father.
And some people could say I didn't have no mother in their life. You know what I'm saying? Like it goes both ways. But at some point, we got to stop that shit, man. Just be responsible and create our realities.
Let the church say amen.
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 All right. I'm finna get this ball rolling, send this out. People waiting on it. That's a good feeling.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna go ahead and get the ball rolling. And
They waiting on it like the 1st and 15.
man, it's a good thing. It's a good feeling, man. Shit.
Right.
So all right. Hey, appreciate you stopping through. Hopefully I'll see you next week. Rick.
All right. Peace.
And
Maybe I will, maybe I won't.
I know I'm
Just know I'm always watching, brother.
yeah, exactly. I appreciate that too. And Ashley, you're gonna be here.
Absolutely.
So, all right, it's been lovely. I'm gonna go ahead and end this, upload it, and then Rick, I'll still tag you in that and make sure everything is everything. All right.
All right, all right.
All right. So, and I'll send it to you, Ashley, too. All right.
Okay.
Much love
All
and
right.
success and mental health.
Love, peace, and hair grease.
I see.
For shizzle. I always wanted to say that.